Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the AGRU Trend podcast, the video podcast that explores the industry trends of the engineering plastics. This is your host, Francisco Pizarro, and again, we are joined by Edgardo Cornejo, Chief Operating Officer, and Matthew Danysh, Senior Technical Manager, both from AGRU America. This is the last episode of the first series called HDPE XXL pipes. The third episode is called XXL pipe application. And as we have seen in the first two episodes, we've explored a series of topics related to XXL pipes. The first two episodes talk a lot about raw materials, the difference between other materials within the industry, about technical aspects, especially regarding the raw materials, also about diameters and how to choose a correct pipe. In this episode, where we'll explore a little bit more about the applications, and the best way to do it is to talk about two important projects we made, one in South America and the other in Canada. So not going too far. I would like to introduce Edgardo. Nice to see you again. We're gonna talk us a little bit about an important project here in South America, which of course is very important for us here in the region, since many aspects are related to our day-to-day here. So good to see you. Welcome.
Hi, Francisco. Hi, Matthew. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining this series. Like Francisco said, this is the third one and last one for XXL pipes. And the idea is to keep sharing the information so that we might help you in any future opportunity that you might have. In this case, we're going to talk about this project in South America where pipe XXL pipe is required. You have a very small space where you need to join different type of pipes. So in this case, Agro comes with their product portfolio and resolves a problem. How we do that? Well, working together with engineers, working together with customers and customers, we found the right solution. In this case, what you see in the screen is a very small shaft. It's got around 50 meters depth, and the total diameter is about 7 to 8 meters. So you have a very small space. You cannot have a butt welding machine there, but you still need to have joints for HDPE XXL pipe. So we come together and we have a total product solution. In this case, it's a system. The system is made out of pipe, couplers, XXL couplers, electrofusion couplers, machines, special toolings, and training. So the whole packet is not just the pipe with supplier A or the couplers with supplier B and the training with supplier C. AGRU is going to put all the pieces together and help you resolve that situation. In this case, again, the pipe is made out of high density polyethylene. The electrofusion coupler is made for that pipe size, and the training and sequence of installation is also designed by our engineering team, discussed with the site installer, and we design a complete protocol so that the whole project will be a very good solution for what the end customer needs. The end customer needs a solution for 50 plus years. So the best way to achieve that is by having the best solution. Again, when you have small applications in the sense of size of the install capacity, you can pick this type of solutions. Why? Well, again, you don't need a welding machine there. You just need you see a small machine at the left side of the screen. That's all you need. A very small electrofusion machine that will connect to the couplers and will fuse two pipes. Then you're gonna push those pipes into what is called a tunnel liner, and then you're gonna have the solution fully working. You can test these systems. You can review the installs. You can review the sequence. You can review the testing parameters. and everything works very, very well. So this is a very successful project, and we have the ability to support those type of situations. And more important, the HDPE industry has been able to keep growing into these levels and applications. So this is one example and a very successful one.
Uh, Quick question, considering that this type of projects are becoming more and more common in South America, especially for this sewage industry. What's the real asset behind using an electrofusion solution in this case versus the usual thermofusion, butt fusion solutions that we have in the market?
So you can have around four different techniques to create joints when you have two different pipes. You have the normal butt fusion welding, and an electrofusion and a butt fusion at the end of the day will have the same result. You have two pipes that were put together, and you're gonna pressure test them, and they need to perform. So in this case, the added value is that if you want to connect this but via butt fusion, you're gonna have to invest a lot of money to create a larger shaft so that you can put together and put down a machine. So you are saving money in the installation. You are saving money into the pre-work of the site because you're not gonna have to make all these big diameter holes and then just put back soil and keep working as normal. So that's a lot of money, you know. So
Yeah. And
speed.
the availability of those welding machines, especially in butt fusion, let's say it's not very common. And as you said, it's the size are quite big. At least here in Chile, there's one that could make up to 2,000 millimeters of diameter. So yes, at the end, they're not easy to find. So I guess just like you mentioned, it's this that's a big asset
And
for
you're working on different
electrification.
shafts at the same time. It's not just one.
Hmm.
So you're gonna have different crews working on shaft one to shaft five at the same time. So you have to keep these rotations so that you can accomplish the deadlines on the installation. So for that reason, having a complete system and one warranty, one brand helps a lot. Uh, you see those silver color attachments over there. Those are part of the solution. Those are rerouting tools and tools required to install those electrofusion couplers made to the pipe and very efficient way.
That's perfect. Uh, Maybe we can jump into to the next project, and maybe Matt, you can talk about a little bit about the project in Canada. What do
Yes,
we have here?
yes, thank you. Hi, all. This was a very good project we had up in Canada. This was for an outfall line, and originally it was designed for steel, but as this line would go into the ocean, the corrosion was a big problem for the engineer and for the owner to maintain a life of the system. And so they chose to use HDPE, which we would provide this pipe to them in diameters of 2.25 meters. And overall, it was about 2 kilometers worth of pipe going into the outfall. The outfall was basically made by shipping. We shipped the pipes by truck, and then welded. They were welded then in the field to make long strings. And as the pipe was put out into the water, the counterweights were put on, and the system had a on the end of the pipe had inserts that we had put on for a discharge using electrofusion saddles. And so in a couple more pictures, you'll see as the pipe goes out there at the end, they wanted a very light diffusion of the water from the sewer treatment plant into the ocean. And so by doing this, there was a number of these fittings that were put on. These are the discharge outlets. And these were very special outlets because they wanted these outlets to be pressurized. And so we had to design a system with the help of some engineers to figure out how to keep these outfall diffusers on the pipe and still be able to have internal air pressure during the sinking process. So these are just some things that AGRU was able to do, was to manufacture and install these outlets so that they can still retain internal pressure even though they were installed on the pipe for a discharge. So as you can see here on the right, that's what they call a duckbill valve, basically a non-return valve that lets the effluent water go through the duckbill and the ocean water not be able to come back in the line during tidal influences. And so these were put on specially with a type of configuration inside so it would allow for a stop valve so the air would not escape when we were sinking the pipe. And that was a very important process. And the distribution of these over the whole line was such that it allowed for very light dilution of the treated water into the ocean so that the wildlife would not have a major impact on the discharge. The line, like I said, was originally designed for steel, so all of this would have been steel, but then they had a number of problems with it. They couldn't sink the pipe like they wanted it to because the steel pipe was too heavy in place. They wanted to install it on land and then bring it to the ocean. So the HDP was a very good solution that allowed them to basically weld the pipes together in long strings and then tow them to the actual location where it was going to be then sank. And this project entitled a number of accomplishments as far as awards through non-dig applications because there was no digging involved in the sinking process, only on the land side. And so very little dredging had to be done, so it was very low impact for the environment. So this was a very good project we did, and we could actually do this in larger pipe sizes. The 2250 was just the size that they needed for their project, but we could do these same types of projects in upwards of 3.5 meters in diameter. So that's just one of the things that we AGRU can do for large diameter pipe systems for different applications.
Will the metal frames that are there are going to be removed, or they're going to stay there, Matthew?
Yeah, so once they sink the pipe, these metal frames that go over the valve, they would be removed. That was just installed for the sinking of the pipe. And basically that eliminates the valve aspects to keep the air in the line. Because the air is very important to keep in the pipe during the sinking process, just so that it sinks at a controlled rate in the water. So they can control the amount of thrust load that they have to put onto the pipe to hold it in place while they're sinking the pipe.
And for the audience, if you can see all those top load saddles, those rounded devices there, you can see how they are aligned through the whole 2 kilometers. Doing that with a different technology is very hard, but the same supplier, that in this case is AGRU, will give you the top load saddles, will give you the procedures. So you're gonna just drill a hole in the pipe and electrofusion weld those together. So the same technology again, another added value. The same brand can give you the pipe, the top load saddle, the training, and helping during execution, which is very, very
Right.
important. If you
And
go back
so,
to the previous picture, see all of those are electrofusion joints, one by one, that they are timely efficient. You can make them very quick in a very controlled environment with very simple equipment.
right. So these top load saddles were installed. I believe they're 8-inch saddles. Were installed in the factory, but we couldn't actually install those in the field as we were welding the pipes. But just to make things simpler, and since there was a special design for them, we installed all of these in the factory and we shipped them with the pipe.
So this is what we usually call here in Agru for our customers the one-stop shop. Edgar, you know how to explain it better. That's just much better than myself. But at the end, Agru is not only the manufacturing of these of pipes and fittings. I mean, we have the whole portfolio of solution in the prescription, the manufacturing, the engineering, the transport up to the project. So this is the whole project at the end that the customer needs in terms of solution.
It is, Francisco. And the very important thing is in the first picture, you can see a welding machine. You can see an isolated room where you're going to weld them. So AGRU provided the machine as well. So in this case, we are renting the machine. We are producing the pipes. We're helping with the training procedures on the top load saddles, the engineering check, and all of that allows us to help customers with this type of projects instead of using the previous technologies, in this case, steel pipe, that might corrode over time very quick compared to HDPE. So HDPE will be a lightweight solution as well, less yellow equipment. You need less heavy equipment involved in these type of maneuvers. So you can see the size of that truck and the size of the machine. You know, it's just a very quick point of reference. The size of the pipe, you know, it looks like a little toy, that truck, you know, compared to the size, and that's kind of a 2.25, like Matthew said, pipe. We can make up to 3.5 so far. So it's very important to share those news to the audience so that they know that there's another solution now to those levels.
And you mentioned, Edgar, something that is very important, especially for us in this region, where sometimes projects are just measured by the cost of the pipe, the US dollars per meter, or unfortunately in some cases per kilogram. And as we can see, you can't measure the quality of a supplier just by that, because for such a complex project, there are several things. Not only is project in Canada, the project we show first in South America, for the sewage industry. It requires a lot of, let's see, an expertise that is important to in terms of technological asset from the supplier to the customer, and that's important that engineering companies, contractors, final customers understand that at the end, agro, that's the one of its biggest assets. We are not just the product itself, but this whole solution related to engineering. We have engineering teams that are able to not to only to design a specific tooling or design a specific special parts related to fittings. So it's the whole solution, and it's important the customers knows that, because at the end that's where they really understand. That's important they understand that. I don't know what do you think about it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's one of those things where we just need to let everybody know that this large diameter
Mm.
XXL pipe is available up to 3.5 meters, and it can be used for pressure applications. This is something that's a game changer for a lot of applications, especially when you start getting around salt water. That there's not a really good solution for salt water for piping systems. HDP is by far the best pipe to use anywhere near the ocean, either onshore, offshore, near shore. It's very corrosion resistant, and it does not have the problems of other types of pipe materials. And it is definitely the best material out there to use for large diameter pipe systems.
I put it this way: it's a puzzle, like we say in Spanish, rompecabezas. There's a lot of pieces.
Mm.
We help putting all those pieces together and reduce the headache for the contractor or the end customers and try to give a very strong solution. That's very important. And that's why these series are trying to put together some examples in an easier way so that engineers and customers, distributors knows that this is available. It will help in the long term.
Yes. So we're arriving to the end of the third episode and the end of the first series. So again, don't be afraid. Many more series are gonna come. So stay tuned for our series of social networks. in order to know what's the coming series, where we are gonna discuss several topics. We are also going to go further on the XXL HDPE pipes in further also series. So again, stay tuned for news. And please, in each of the social networks where we are going to broadcast these episodes and these series, please send us questions, email to the different, or send us messages from to the different channels we have. It's important that we are bringing this to you because we, as plastic experts, we also need to be experts on bringing all this knowledge to you. So again, a big thanks, a big shout out to Matthew, to Edgardo for joining us in this first series. We're going to see you very soon for the coming series. And again, stay tuned. Edgardo, Matthew, final words if you like.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the audience to stay tuned on this series. We're using this platform to share news and to share the products that we can help you with. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. And if anybody has any questions, please contact any of us, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Awesome. See you guys. Everybody,
Thanks.
see you very soon. Stay
All right.
tuned. Bye bye.
All right.